A little bit of a Hail Mary. The stall was high. Earlier in the tournament, Miranda had a turnover when she tossed it to a covered dump. She didn't make that mistake this time. She decided to put it up in the air and let Chase go and get it, and he certainly did.
And you said how Miranda gave Chase the pep talk before the game. Chase looked like he didn't need any pep talk now. It looks like he's got a lot of confidence, and the U.S. has the momentum back. 2 scores away from winning it.
The U.S. got the break back. 2 scores, 13 is what we're looking for. Australians seem a little bit grim right now on the line. They know they just gave back their big break. They're going to have to earn it back if they have any chance of winning this game.
Yeah, the Aussies looking like they have some doubt on their minds now. A lot of body expressions in this sport.
There certainly is. That was one they didn't want to give up. But for the first time, they went to the well, and the well ran dry in the end zone. The U.S. is back on top.
A lot of these players, you know, they played Ultimate in high school and whatnot, but a lot of them track and field background. What kind of athletes do you find make the best Ultimate players?
The best athletes make the best Ultimate players. If you're really athletic, and that can be somebody who's got great speed or great jumping ability or great footwork, you get all different kinds of athletes in Ultimate, but to a person, they're all incredible athletes, whatever their particular skill is.
And throwing, of course, one of the skills that helps. And speaking of which, throwing not going so well for Jane Irving. A big turnover deep in Australia's territory, and the U.S. can go up by that crucial 2-goal margin if they can convert here.
That was a really unfortunate turnover, just a miscue, a misthrow. It was really an unforced error, and this gives the United States a golden opportunity.
And let's see what they can do. Setting it up, it's Cusson. And now it's Watson, throwing it toward the goal line. They're about a pass away from scoring. There is the layout, and yeah, she caught it. What a diving play for the goal by Kati Halmas.
Kati makes one of her trademark clap catches, making sure she keeps that disc in her possession, and she came down with the goal.
Could make for quite a story to tell her students. She's a teacher of 6th grade math and science in Seattle, and someone who enjoys skiing, boarding, and mountain biking. Went for a nice little slide right there. The U.S. 1 score away from winning a world championship, leading the Aussies 12-10. The U.S. fans on their feet. We'll be back for what could be the end after this on CSTV. The U.S. with a 12-10 lead. Jude, you were talking earlier about how the Aussies were spreading it around. Now everyone on the roster for the U.S. is in the box.
That's right. That catch by Kati in the end zone, every one of the 11 players on the U.S. roster has now scored, caught, or thrown a goal.
And the U.S. in really good position right now, because if you assume that teams are taking turns scoring, even if the Australians score one here, the U.S. will get it back with a chance at the win. Chase Sparling Beckley checks the win one more time, and now another pull, and it's going deep into Aussie territory, not reaching the end zone, but Australia's got to be feeling some pressure here.
They certainly do. They've just given up 3 points in a row. They took a timeout that last point to give their O a little bit of a chance to rest and collect themselves, but you're right, even if the O gets it done.
Well, the O is about to get it done. Ragaki sending it across the field. And the Australians, 1 long pass and 1 short pass, make it 12-11. Granny coming home with it. And that gets a round of applause from some of the Australian supporters.
Again, a great catch by Ragaki. It was a line drive, hucked down the middle of the field and speared it out of the air and wound up with an easy pass for a goal.
The Aussies had to make some choppy passes there early on, and coming off those turnovers and all these points by the U.S., it looked like a big play wasn't about to happen, but I guess that's ultimate, isn't it?
You get that little bit of rest for the offense, and they can come out and make something special happen.
And speaking of something special, the U.S. 1 goal away from a world championship. Now they're huddling up. What are they talking about right now?
They're talking about getting out on that O-line and imagining that it's not any different from any other point in the rest of this tournament. There should be no extra stress, no excitement, just get business done, keep things the way it's supposed to be.
And forget calm. Jonathan Potts is pushing his players all over the place.
Well, the Australians took a timeout here. It's an interesting tactical timeout. It's their last timeout of the game, but they know that if we go into overtime, each team will get exactly one extra timeout. So they used it to try and fire themselves up on defense, and Potsy is certainly doing that.
Hope he didn't hurt anybody. I would have come away from that bruised. I wouldn't be able to throw anything.
The only bruise that these guys are going to feel are the ones when they wake up tomorrow morning if they don't manage to get the turn here. So whatever it takes to get them fired up, see if they can't make something happen. They're pulling to the U.S. The U.S. is going to have the disc to win. Australia's got to spark some magic if they want to keep this game going.
And the U.S. will have the wind at its back as it goes after championship pointer.
That's right. It'll definitely help them. Australia definitely lost the advantage that they had earlier. Now they're pulling upwind. The U.S. just has to work at 70 yards for the gold medal point.
And you can see from the flags waving in the stands there exactly what direction the wind is going. It's going right at Tom Regacki as he gets ready for the pull. I guess he's just waiting for the music to end.
Waiting for the music to end. We do have timekeepers for the timeout, so I think they were waiting for official word that time is over. Again, a short pull,
Short
you're
pass,
right.
Yeah, into the wind. The U.S. lets it land, like you said, because the wind can play a lot of tricks on it as it comes down. And now the Australians with a lot of pressure as the U.S. knows it's one goal away from scoring. Almost the turnover. Bart Watson getting dirty to make that grab. Now he's looking to make something happen.
Definite nerves. The passes are crisp, but they're a little bit in front of the receivers. The U.S. needs to be calm and just work the disc downfield and score a goal.
And here's Watson with Regacki marking him, getting it up the left field line. As the U.S. continues to work that far side of the field, here's Deaver pivoting back to Watson. U.S. can smell a championship. Watson looking downfield, lets a low one go, and it is caught there by Zip.
It makes a great layout catch coming towards the disc, keeps it up off the ground, keeps things moving.
Watson with Regacki all over him. Right-handed flick. And now he's getting it back. A little contact there.
Now we've got a pick call downfield.
Another pick.
Just back to the thrower.
We're not used to seeing a lot of picks in Ultimate, right?
Well, you're not supposed to do them. Too many injuries could result. They happen inadvertently, but when they happen, the defense calls them out. That way you try to avoid injuries.
Regacki checks it back in. Now Watson, as they work that left side. Zip, looking to make a move. Basically hands it to Watson, and now the U.S. is really close. Watson looking for something on the other side of that orange cone. Floats one, and was the catch made? The U.S. starting to celebrate. No challenge from the Aussies, and the U.S. comes away with the World Championship. Zip with his hands on it as the U.S. wins 13-11.
What a great pass and a great catch, really close to the line. I'm sure some people were wondering whether or not he was in. Seemed like his teammates weren't even sure at first, but that was the gold medal point.
And we saw Regacki, the really tall guy for the Aussies, get as low as he's been all day, sat down immediately after Zip made the catch. The fans are leaving, but we're not. Back to wrap up this gold medal game right after this on CSTV.